Hey, Mark McNutt here, coming at you again from the countryside. And Aquarius, yay! Uh, I hope you're really enjoying all this Aquarian energy. There happens to be 6 planets in Aquarius right now, and here I'm speaking at you from the new moon. Some of you may know the new moon in Aquarius is also known as Chinese New Year. Every time when it's a new moon in Aquarius, that's the start of their cycle. You know how they always say end of January, beginning of February. Well, it's about the new moon in Aquarius. And then in addition to Sun and Moon in Aquarius right now, we also have Mercury retrograde, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn all in Aquarius. And they're pretty much all bunched up. And you can see that in the chart here, that there's that it looks, pretty simple right now. It's pretty straightforward. If you love Aquarian energy, you got it made. If you like, the airy energy and the flow and the interaction, the friendship, the ideas and ideals of Aquarius, that's a really good time. Good time to be progressive. Good time to be idealistic. Good time to initiate something new. And then there's several planets, Mars and Uranus in Taurus, and they're pretty much square, pretty stressful to Aquarian energy. Neptune's in Pisces and Pluto's in Capricorn, and that's all 10 planets. And so, in addition to all that, everything is within the tail end of Capricorn to the middle of Taurus, Pluto to Mars. And that's the whole fulcrum right here, right now. That's all within a trine, and that energy is like a locomotive energy that is a little bit set off the eccentric, so it moves. It moves, and it moves partially through the dynamic of the square of being powerful energy that is sometimes at cross purposes. So let's look at the Aquarian part first. Sun and Moon in Aquarius. So we've had, over the last few weeks, we've had 5 planets in Aquarius, and that's really exciting. Now there's 6. The last time that I recall there was 6 planets in Aquarius was February 2nd through 4th in 1962. And so that was 2 Saturn returns ago, 5 Jupiter returns ago, 59 solar returns ago, and Venus returns. And so a lot of people are asking me, is this the dawning of the age of Aquarius? Ages are large cycles of several thousand years, 2,160 years. This is the start of an Aquarian cycle. Well, not this month, but actually it's moving more and more in this direction. Started a couple months ago with that wonderful visual Jupiter conjunct Saturn moving into Aquarius. And it's definitely the time when we can really start living new values, where many of us have been sequestered for a while. We've been in our apartments, our homes. We've been unable to be as social as we would like to be, and then there's a lot of food for thought. There's been a lot of time for reflection, a lot of time for being detached from a lot of our other relationships, so that we can see something new. One of the beauties of, I realize a lot of people are not happy about being sequestered, but one of the beauties of that is a reflective time. And Aquarian energy, of which I'm an expert on because I'm also a part-time Aquarian, being born February 19th. Anyway, Aquarian energy has that aloof, detached, all-encompassing vibration. And this particular lunation is excellent for instigating new ideas, new programs, new ways of being. Meanwhile, some of you are thinking, yeah, but what about that pesky Mercury retrograde? Well, I like Mercury retrograde because Mercury retrograde is a necessary exhale that we experience 3 times a year, and for about 3 weeks at a time. And when Mercury is retrograde, we can release ourselves from old thought forms, old ideas, old ideals, and so forth. So in this cycle, Mercury, instead of being in Aquarius or any other sign for a month or less, Mercury is in Aquarius for 2.5, 3 months. And so Mercury in Aquarius will give us a firm foundation of what we want to project our mental energy towards. And then there's sort of the tide pulls out and we're doing something else. We're actually assessing and releasing from the past, so that at this new moon, which is right now, on February 11th, what's happening is the next wave can come in. So the big question is, what do you want to do with that wave? As far as, usually I don't give personal advice. I prefer to do readings and get really in depth with people rather than talk about various sun signs and all that. But if there's 6 planets in Aquarius and you're an Aquarian, it's very obvious that your time has come. That everything associated with Aquarius energy, which is the embracing the new paradigm and the humanocentric aspects of Aquarius, are all going to shine right now. Now, the challenge with that is Mars and Uranus are pretty much square all the Aquarian planets. Now, I could break that down more, and I'd rather not, but but right now, Mars has gone back and forth with just a complex interaction with one planet after another. Easier to think of the energy of Mars and Taurus being like bull in a china shop, being very super motivated, but being very determined in a mountain moving kind of way that can sometimes be very blind. And then here's the Aquarian energy, which can also be blind sometimes, but is more about the idealism of what could be. And these two are kind of arm wrestling with each other right now. So if you're, for example, a very strongly Taurus person, you might actually feel challenged by all this newness. It might be not your cup of tea, yet, with the planets Mars and Uranus and Taurus, there's stimulation towards being really strong in yourself, being really determined with that. Then the opposite planets, signs, Leo. Well, if a person is a Leo, say a sun in Leo or major planets in Leo, the 6 planets that are in Aquarius are in the opposite place right now. And when planets are opposition your own natal energies, there's a give and take with sort of like surrendering. Typically, this is, as a general rule, when it's 6 months opposite your own birth time, your own birth month, etc., then that's usually a difficult time for people. And with 6 planets in Aquarius, if you're a super Leo, you're going to have a little hard time with that, because you'll be like, hey, wait a minute, I really wanted to have a party or focus this personal energy, and really celebrate it. And then the energy of Aquarius can seem really diffused and detached in a frustrating way for certain signs. So in summary, the fixed signs are definitely going to have a very dynamic relationship with this, perhaps at cross purposes, perhaps really united, perhaps having to work with the give and take. And fixed signs are usually not good at compromise. But and then the air signs, it's a very harmonic flow. But that's the general picture, and it's really important to get the specificity of who you are in relation to it. So I like to do these short sessions and kind of give an overview, but on the other hand, I'm a very specific person, and I like to give very pinpointed advice and do the best I can. So just in sun, moons, and risings, there's 1,728 different combinations. So we can see we have a lot to work with. And I'd be happy working with you. The Aquarian energy goes on throughout the year. Saturn and Jupiter remain in Aquarius for most of the year. Saturn all year, and then things are going to unfold from here on. So look at this as the new year. Look at this as the new time. Look at this as the beginning of 2021, and you'll be doing pretty well with that. Not necessarily in terms of your looking at it in terms of your own personal challenges, but look at the vast landscape of possibility and think, well, what can I do with this template? Because that's where it's at. Now, all the planets being within a trine, that's a third of the circle, this gives us a rendering of being like really focused. So this is definitely a time when we can really focus in. Now, again, more challenging for some signs and some maps than others. But what an opportunity. And I'm really excited about that. So see this as a new beginning. And, forget about what happened last year. I mean, take your lessons from it, but or the previous years. And I know that all of us have had the reflection time, and hopefully, we've been catching up with ourselves and with our past so that we can move forward. So for the rest of this month, which is another week, as I think of months in terms of moons, that sort of thing. Anyway, this is a time of to complete the contemplation and then move into a place of taking action. Mercury being in Aquarius goes back and forth, and then finally comes out of retrograde on my birthday, February 19th. And that's the point when those of us who are feeling like the new paradigm isn't here yet, that's when many of us who are very mentally oriented may actually see the fog clear. And typically Aquarius is followed by Pisces, and Pisces is a sign of dreaming. So dream you're doing, do your dreaming. It's coming right up, and the time is now. We're starting something brand new. Any questions?
What does this time mean for somebody with the moon in Aquarius?
Oh, that's a really good question. Yeah, okay. So widening out a little bit, so the sun, moon, and rising are your three power points. And the moon, everybody knows the sun sign. Theoretically, the moon sign is harder to figure out, but it basically is your emotional nature. So a person with the moon in Aquarius right now would be seeking the sense of home, family, and what is my big tribal group that I want to bond with at this time, because that's what brings you emotional nourishment. So a person with moon in Aquarius would be emotionally nourished by having a wide and diverse human field of their tribal engagements. And then and there would be a lot of fulfillment right now. It would be a natural time for really doing that. And then, since we're on the subject, Aquarius rising, there would just be all those planets going across your ascendant right now, and that would be really an amazing breakthrough. So, powerful time.
So if you have a strong Uranian aspect in your chart, this would also be very stimulating.
Yeah. So strong Uranus would be like, okay, there's two ways of looking at it. One is, where is Uranus right now? And the other is Uranus rules Aquarius. So it's like, okay, the energy would be stimulated. So there would be a lot of opportunities for a Uranian type. A lot of opportunities. And is there anything else on that? There is, but there's always more to come. I strongly encourage people to get readings, because that's really where it's at. So I like to do these short sessions and kind of give an overview, but on the other hand, I'm a very specific person, and I like to give very pinpointed advice and do the best I can. So all of us are having divergent fields right now, and then also the other thing is much unexpected. I didn't quite give talk to that, but the planets being in square with Uranus, it's sort of the best laid plans of people may be changing right now. So wishing you well with all that, and go with the new year. See, this is the beginning of the new year and a whole new set of opportunities that we never considered before.